At that time he told me, because the profit is not much, he also want to come up with money to play the upper level of relations. So for the time being, these two small business will not share the money, and so on. There are big. At the same time, he gave me the name of vice president of the company. Monthly subsidies of 2,000 yuan, at will to deploy company resources. At that time, I was in debt. My pockets were cleaner than my face, and I was already grateful to have someone to take me in. So what more could I expect? Lian Qintao held me in high esteem and introduced me to people he knew everywhere. A returnee from Imperial College, fluent in English, German, and Japanese, and with many years of experience in infrastructure projects, I was his right-hand man. At that time, I was overwhelmed by all the compliments. Dealing with different politicians and businessmen every day. Not knowing how much I weighed, thinking I had already stepped into the upper-class society. Every day, I spared no effort in planning projects and communicating with the party about the progress of the business, hoping to make big money early. Firstly, to solve their own debt problems, and secondly, to repay the kindness of Lian Qintao's acquaintance. I sometimes wish that time would stop at that stage, and the beauty of the world would not be eroded by ugliness. But how is that possible? On my Honda C70, I finally arrived at the old railway station located between Yuxi and Kunming. At 10:30 a.m., I pushed my motorbike into the woods 100 meters away from the station and parked it, covering it with some artemisia grass. Lian Qintao will definitely be here today, as this is the last demolition and renovation project that Lian Qintao has handled. Next year, he will retire and emigrate to Canada. At that time, it would be almost impossible to find him again. Mixing in with the crowd watching the groundbreaking ceremony, I stared at Lian Qintao at the front of the line. He was talking smugly to the people on the sidelines, dancing around, confident as if he was in charge of everything. The faster I walked, the closer Lian Qintao's back got. I hooked my hand, and the steel cone in my sleeve landed on my palm, cold and hard. 10 meters, 5 meters, 3 meters. Lian Qintao suddenly fell to the ground, the blood on his neck like a fountain, reflecting the sky red. The crowd panicked. No one noticed me. I went back to the woods, put on my helmet, started my Honda C70, and drove my motorbike out from the other side. Without a license plate, it was unlikely that anyone would recognize me even if I was caught on camera. I tried to choose only small roads and sped towards the Sinalao border. The motorbike accelerated to 80 kilometers, and the wind whistling outside my helmet made me feel like everything was so fake. Lian Qintao was dead. He was really dead. I can't tell you what kind of feeling it is. The thrill of revenge. Nervousness or fear? Again, no. I had hoped for his death for 10 years, and when he suddenly died, I only felt an inexplicable emptiness. I just know that Z Lily can rest easy in heaven because the person who harmed her is finally dead. It's just that it's all weird and extraordinary. After passing through Yuxi and Pu'er, more than 6 hours later, I was back on the China-Laos border. I found the wild road that I had come in the wee hours of the morning, drilled into the mountains, crossed the border, and drove towards the camp. It was already dark when I got back to the camp. I ate some dry food, drank some water, lit the campfire, and finally loosened the taut string. The pain in the broken finger of my left hand throbbed again. Probably because of the numbness, the pain stayed only at the finger and did not extend upwards. I removed the gauze, reapplied the medicine, and wrapped it up. I couldn't erase the face in my mind when Lian Qintao died. Those small eyes had never fought to open as wide and full of doubt as they did at that moment. What was he thinking in his last moments? Would he regret what he had done? Nothing is known anymore. After dark, I added more wood to the campfire and fell into an uncontrollable sleep. I don't know how long I slept. When I woke up again, it was already the afternoon of the next day. The pain in my broken finger seemed to have lessened, or maybe it was just my mind. 36 hours had passed. The last shot of the live broadcast that the fans saw was me showing the bandaged broken finger in front of the camera. And that was almost 2 days ago. Many fans left messages on the channel asking how I was doing. I couldn't reply because, as planned, there was no internet in the camp. I thought back to every bit of that video I made last year, and filling in the gap from yesterday morning to tomorrow should be seamless. So it's better to use the video I recorded last year. After all, I'm in a mental state where it would be difficult to complete this wilderness survival event without showing my face. In fact, I'm in no mood at all. I organize my rucksack. The food will last me until this time tomorrow, and there's enough water. So the only thing left to do is to sit in camp and wait. It's going to be a very hard 24 hours. One kept recalling in my mind the process when I made that video last year. Until I was in a trance that I had actually been in the camp without going anywhere, trying to complete this wilderness survival with a broken finger. How many years had it been since I had seen Lian Qintao? 15 years, or 16. I don't know if I made the right decision. But whenever I think of Z Lily's eyes, I can't stop myself from continuing. Z Lily doesn't deserve to die. It's Lian Qintao who deserves to die. Back then, when I did business with Lian Qintao, I felt good at first. But I slowly began to feel that Lian Qintao is not what I imagined. Although there are a lot of people who come and go, it's easy to see that Lian Qintao doesn't have a lot of friends. All of them are either begging him or being begged by him. But every time Lian Qintao said, "Old Zhang, you're my brother," I subconsciously ignored those perceptions. I think I'm being paranoid. Lian Qintao has a driver, Lao Wang. I say old Wang, but he's actually quite a few years younger than Lian Qintao and I. He's just quite old-looking, with a kind of grudging worldliness. But old Wang is not a shrewd person. He will often make some low-level mistakes. For example, in the rainy night to park the car in the open car park and forget to close the window. Car cut, but do not dare to tell Lian Qintao he secretly repaired the car. And in the reimbursement of mixed invoices in the hope that the boss can. The list goes on and on. But Lian Qintao is not easy to fool. Every time he found these things will be the old Wang scolded and then deducted half a month's salary. Although old Wang was dissatisfied behind his back, he never left. He said he was a stupid man with no skills and didn't know what else to do when he left Lian Qintao. Once Lian Qintao asked him to go early in the morning to help someone pick up the bride. Old Wang just drove a long distance back the day before, although not yet recovered. But there is no way, muttering to perform the task. Luckily, everything went well and he came back after a busy day without making any mistakes. The next day, Lian Qintao called the old Wang to the office. Let him give people 200 hard work and 2 boxes of Chinese cigarettes to hand over. Old Wang, a little surprised, but still did.